Hi everyone, welcome to this third submodule, Proof Editing Strategies. In this class, we will touch on the many techniques for proofreading your article, such that it will be ready for journal submission. Having a Polish manuscript is a good way to impress your supervisor and journal reviewers. In the minds of reviewers, seeing typos and incorrectly written sentences are taboos, suggesting that we are carelessly checking our manuscript. Hence, please pay full attention to detail and employ some strategies listed in this class. Now, once you have finished your manuscript, you will need to check it thoroughly. There are two important criteria that you must check at this stage: content and language. These two needs to be dissected accordingly when you proofread. Normally we will edit the content first before language, so that you don't have to re-edit the language multiple times when the content changes. Here I list an editing procedure for content. First, read what you actually wrote, and not what you think you wrote. Most of the time, we skip sentences or several words as we think we know what it reads. This speeds up our reading rate. However, editing content requires in-depth understanding, and skipping is a poor way to judge content. Giving us a 24 hours break, after finalizing a manuscript, is a good strategy to freshly read what we have written. Then, if we found any mistakes or content that requires updating, we can put remarks or comments alongside it. Then, go straight ahead to edit the entire manuscript so that you don't lose the reading rhythm. Only after finishing the whole paper, you can then go back and improvise any content that needs to be updated. You may do this whole procedure multiple times until you are satisfied with the content. Now, for editing language, we as non-native English speakers, may have to edit sentence by sentence. Remember to check whether the verbs and subjects agree, singular and plural forms are appropriately used, articles such as a, an, the, are placed accurately, as well as verb tenses such as past, present, perfect and modal tenses are correctly applied. All of these have been discussed in the previous submodules. Furthermore, having a spelling checker would help us to correct typos automatically, and remember to check for punctuations and italics, especially for species names. Another strategy that I usually do is to list common mistakes or typos on a piece of paper. Say for instance, US and British spelling can sometimes be confusing. Having this as your checklist will help you to identify them later throughout manuscript. You may then use Microsoft Word Find or Replace feature to direct you to the specific location and change them. However, if we are really concerned about our manuscript language, we may send them to professional language proof editing services. As you can see, I have listed the pricing for both local and international proof editing services. Obviously, there are various companies and pricing largely depends on the speed of their service, and the number of words. Remember that some of them may not give you certificate if you use the cheapest service. Please inquire the companies properly if you decide to send your manuscript. Anyway, there are a lot more proof editing companies that I have not listed, so do explore your own preference. One more thing to take note is that some journals may request us to send our manuscript to international proof editing service, rather than local. For me, if you think that your paper has a chance of getting into a high-impact journal, it is a good investment to send to an international service. Also, you may avoid desk rejection if you accompany your paper with the proper proof editing certificate. On a different note, there is actually a service to write the whole manuscript and thesis for you. Please by all means, avoid this service. You will not learn anything by doing this. This is one form of cheating and breaching ethical principles. You will be penalized if you get caught doing this. Even if you don't get caught, what is the meaning of doing Masters and PhD if you don't learn how to write yourself? Anyway, let us go back to proof editing our manuscript. Another simple way to proof edit your manuscript, especially in terms of language, is using software such as Grammarly. You can install it for free for the desktop option or just use it online. Now, have you ever confused using certain words, with or without an S? Or whether certain grammar is accurate or not? One way to check this quickly is using a concordancing tool. It is a tool normally used in social science to find similar features in different papers. In our case, We will use it to find words or grammatical rules from different selected articles. This will give us a chance to see how a particular word is used in different contexts, and get a consensus way to write it correctly. Shown here is one example using a tool called Dankink. I have only inserted 3 papers here as an example, but this can be many more as you like. The question I am asking right now is whether fruit comes with an S or not. Should I consider using it as a singular or plural, as I know fruit can be regarded as uncountable too? Upon checking, the most common way to use fruit is without an S as shown here. You can see also the many variations of how to write fruit in different contexts. It is certainly a great way to learn English. I have listed here the steps for using such concordancing tool. Firstly, download the software from the link. Then, you need to make a separate text library for all papers that you are interested in. You need to use online tools to convert the papers from PDF to the text files. One important note here is to make sure that the first or majority of authors in your selected papers are native speakers and experts in the field. This will give us higher chance to get the correct context and usage for any of our search terms. Then, we can insert the text files into the concordancing tool that we have downloaded in the first step. You can then quickly search any text of interest in the search box appearing at the bottom of the program. There are also other strategies as listed here that have been formulated by various writers. Have a read. Some of them are really useful to quicken our writing process. All the best, everyone.